Listen, everybody, women, men, children, whoever is listening right now, we have a fantastic show for you this evening. My friend, my brother from another mother, Mr. Bobby Butler. And we went to school together. He went off to do major things. I'm still trying to catch up with him. But he's our special guest for the day. Yeah. And it's all about November being men's. Yeah. Yes. So to say to our men, Black men, how we appreciate them. Every week we have a new, and hopefully next week, is it next week? Next week, yeah. We'll have 3 or 4 on at the same time, just to show them how we appreciate everything that they do to protect their family, their community. They give back, the whole work. So we want to take this opportunity to welcome them all. Yes. Now he's here. All you see is me and Sherilyn right now, but he's here. And when he come on, we have a lot of questions because there's over like 45% of women that watch football, that not even just watch football, but know football. I was saying, hey, we could call a flag before the referee call it. That's how in tune we are with the game. And then by us having sons that we're raising, they're playing sports, and we got to know the sport in order to make sure our child is treated correctly. So we're going to take a break before we bring him in, just so that you could get to know who Mr. Butler is. He's awesome. He really awesome. Really is. So it's a pleasure and an honor to honor any Black man, because I said once in another show, when a Black man say, baby, girl, what you say? What you say? So there is no tone that anyone else can take from a man of color. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Okay, come on back here, girl. Come on back. So, again, it's all about football. Ladies, whatever questions that you want to have to ask Mr. Butler, please feel free to come on in. And men, come on, challenge us. We got you. Come on. We're going to let you know what we know.
I ain't no questions in here.
Yeah. We're ready for you all, and hope you all ready for us. And again, we thank you for joining us tonight. We have a great show for the rest of the month. Well, the rest of our life, as long as God says so.
But this month's going to be really, really special.
This month, this is it. This is the month. Yeah. Oh, wait. Another secret this month. It's my birthday.
It's her birthday.
My birthday is Monday, everybody. Birthday. I'm kicking 64 away, and I'm bringing in 65. Oh, that's gonna make me a senior citizen.
Yeah, better senior citizen.
I'm gonna be official.
Official.
I'm gonna be official. So hey, in the beginning, right now we're gonna take a break, and then when we come back, you're gonna meet the one and only Mr. Bobby Butler.
If you're looking for custom handcrafted fashion jewelry that makes a statement, look no further than Linda S. Jewelry, 1426. We specialize in quality pieces fit for any occasion. Follow us on Facebook at Linda S. Jewelry 1426 to view our inventory or to make a purchase. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Hey, well. The team. Hey, well, hey. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing tonight?
We're wonderful now that you're here in our presence. And
I'm excited to be here. I've been looking so forward to this show tonight. And so, hello everybody who's listening in tonight. We're gonna have a good time.
Good time. But before we start, and before we start to tell what we think we know about you, why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
You tell us about yourself.
Yes.
Well, I'm just a little guy who's still, I'm Bobby Butler. I'm born and raised. Delray Beach, Florida. You know, Linda and I grew up together in the same little hometown. And, you know, always had a dream to play the game of football since I was 9 years old. Watching the great Gale Sayers play one Sunday with me and my dad. And I went to my room, Linda, and I wrote down a piece of paper. I'm a pro football player. I was 9 years old.
All right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So what I did from that point, I would get my T-shirt. You know, I get a magic marker, a pen. I'll put number 40 on my T-shirt, and I'll put Sayers on the back.
Right.
I'll go outside and try to emulate everything I saw him do. Right. But in Delray, where I come from, Delray is South Florida. We're about 45 minutes north of North Miami.
Miami, yes.
So we live in a very warm, hot climate, and so we play football year round.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, that's how I started. And then the local high school, when I say local, 1 block away from me at the time, Carver High.
That's it. Carver High. That's it. Yes.
Doing segregation, all black high school. Yeah. I went to a game one night, and I saw this guy play quarterback.
Let me say who it was. Let me say.
Oh my God!
It was Anthony Penn.
Anthony Penn.
That's it.
Linda, when I
as
saw
a woman, look, Bobby. As a woman, I wanted an arm like Anthony Penn. I'm just saying. Anthony Penn, I knew who it was. I didn't mean to break in, but I got excited because when you're talking about Anthony Penn, that's all you could do is get excited. The Joker was something else. He
was unbelievable. So when I saw him play, I can tell you like it was last night. They played Roosevelt High School, who from West Palm Beach.
Yep.
And I saw Penn make a play. And I didn't want to be Gale Sayers no more.
No more.
I wanted to be Anthony
Penn.
And that's when it started for me, playing quarterback, because I would always want to throw the ball in the streets. Let me be the quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's how it started for me. And watching him play, and you know, he really inspired me. I never knew him personally at that time.
Oh, but, you should have told me. I would have introduced you to him.
Listen, this is no joke. So he inspired me so much. And I was in his presence one night in this house when I was a little kid, and I couldn't speak.
Oh.
I couldn't speak. I mean, I was nervous. I couldn't say hello. you know how you are when you see your star, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, really, this is amazing, right? So one night I'm on Facebook, and I'm on this group called Delray Beach Boys and Girls and Their Stories. No, Delray / Boynton Beach and Their Stories, right? And so football came up, and they started talking about football, and I mentioned Anthony Penn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy who went to Seacrest started to talk about his stats. Right? You know, we talked about that before we started. People who play stats, right?
Right.
And I was amazed that he knew that. And so at that moment, I got his phone number from his sister-in-law who attended my dad's church. And she said, "Call Anthony." I was too nervous to call him. And I'm telling you guys, this is about 7 years ago.
7 years, Bobby.
Listen, about 7 years ago. So my second son, played in the NFL. And so when he had his pro day in college, I went out to California to his pro day. And when I'm on the flight, the woman sitting next to me started questioning me. "Well, where are you from?" "Well, I'm from Atlanta." And, "Well, what are you doing out here?" "Well, my son was out here, had a pro day. I come." "Did you play?" "Yes, I played." And she started drilling me with questions, right? And so she said, "Well, how did you get inspired to play?" So I'm telling the story that I'm telling you now about Anthony Penn. And I said, "But you know what? I've never met him personally." All right. Now, Linda, think about this. This was 2013.
Wow.
2013. And so I said, "I got his number, but I'm afraid to call him." But this is what she said to me. Listen to this. This is what she said to me. She said, "You know what? You were the one who made it professionally. he probably want to talk to you more than you want to talk to him.
Oh,
I never thought about that.
wow.
So that gave me the nerve to contact him. And
Right,
Wow.
right.
I called him. We talked. I flew home just to spend time with him.
Oh.
We went to have lunch at the Longhorns in Boynton, right by the Boynton Beach Mall.
Uh-huh.
On the Second Avenue, somewhere down there.
Yeah.
Oh, Congress. And we were there for 4 hours talking.
What?
Wow.
And
You
today,
were to call.
And yeah.
we're like this today, right?
Good.
What a great dude, man.
Well, where is he?
He's in Boynton. He's in Boynton.
He
You know,
is in Boynton.
he had a long career at Florida Power and Light.
Yes.
And he's just doing great things. He's just signed up to be a mentor to some high school kids and kids going to college.
Oh,
Man,
wow.
that's great.
Awesome.
See, that's what people from Delray do. Well, other people do that as well, but I was telling Sherilyn, and the three of us was speaking prior to this interview, is when people always ask me about athletes and good athletes, I never send them directly to the state of Florida. I always send them to the city, Delray Beach. Because either a woman or a man, you want a good athlete, go down there and pick up some. I had a high school, I said I wasn't going to go to college. Let me just get out of high school. Lord, that was going to be it. And a coach came for me to play basketball. And I said, I don't want to play no basketball, but he was so fine and so good looking. I said, where I saw him, Bobby.
You know your girl, huh, Bobby?
I know my girl. You know I know my girl, right?
Bobby, I say, what? Okay, so when do I sign? And when do I have to report? But he said, and I asked him, how did you hear about me? Because I would have thought you'd have heard about me playing softball.
Right.
And he said, Glamorous Cornelius told him about me. Yes. I said, wow. Glamorous? For real? He said, yes. I said, okay, I'm definitely going to sign now. But yeah, let me go ahead and do that. So,
that's
but
amazing.
I say all that to say how honored I am to be from Delray Beach, Florida, and to know that we all still could pick up the phone and call each other just like it was yesterday.
Just like it was.
So I respect that from you, and thank you for your time. So let me go into a little bit, because you talked about Atlantic High School, where we all graduated from.
Yes.
And what made you? Well, I was gonna say what made you go play basketball and the football, but we had those kind of parents. So the parenting was one thing. I wanted to talk about Coach Tidwell, and to talk about him. What did he give to you to make you say, okay, I'm gonna go further, other than the story that we already heard prior to Anthony Penn and Sayers and all them? What did Coach give you to say, okay, young man, you're going to go on? Because I have another question after I get through with that.
Okay. Well, it started for me. It was a dream. Or you can say I had a vision at a young age. And remember, on top of me having that vision that I wanted to be a pro football player, the streets of Delray were full of great football players.
Great.
I mean, every neighborhood I played in, and you remember that back in the old day, every street had a football team.
Every street.
So I was fortunate. I played in Carver Park.
Yes.
Okay.
Frog Alley.
I played in Frog Alley.
Yeah.
I played Jefferson Manor.
Yes.
I played on Northwest 6th Avenue where my grandmother lived. And I played with Tony Scott. And Tony Scott, my cousin, Vic Mitchell, Toot Mitchell,
right,
and Smitty Boo.
Oh my God, you call it your own names.
I really grew up playing ball with them.
Yes.
Right. So I'm a young kid. They're 2 years older.
So
that's where I got my toughness, because if they hit me hard, I start crying. You know, they go straight to me out.
What?
Hey, Pernilla, what's going on, girl? They're already proud.
That's it.
So it started in the street like that, right?
Mm.
But when I watched the game played on TV, I always saw myself there.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
And I would talk about it all the time. Now, Cheryl, and Linda knows, but you don't know. I didn't look like I still don't look like a football player.
I went and did some history on you. You did not look like
I did not look like a football player. I did not look like a football player. But having a vision and then having coaching like Red Odom,
right,
like Bump Mitchell,
yes,
like Bill Smith,
yes,
who coached me at the Delray Rocks, they extended that.
Yes.
But then when I got into high school, when Coach Wilder became my
Wilder, that's it. That's Wilder.
When Coach Wilder became my head coach, this is what I learned from him. Football is about business.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Coach Wilder was no joke.
Yes. Yes.
And I was his quarterback. And so I remember one day in practice, we were doing wind sprints at the end of practice. That was our condition. And I was in the middle of the pack, right? I'm just doing my condition with my buddies, right? Just hanging out.
Yeah.
So after practice, he said, everybody in, he said, young man, I need to talk with you. Okay. So he said, Bobby, he said, are you the fastest player on the team? And I thought that was something like a punchline or for a joke, right?
So, yeah.
Who else you got faster than me out here, right? I said, yes, I'm the fastest guy on the team. He said this to me. He said, well, how come you're in the middle of the pack when we're doing wind sprints? Then he followed it up with this question. He said, are you my quarterback? I said, sir, yes, sir, I'm your quarterback, coach. He said, well, let me tell you this. If you would lead out front, if you would set the example,
right,
these guys will follow you anywhere.
Yes. Yes.
Linda, that changed my life.
Yes. Yes. Those were good words.
That changed my life. It taught me how to lead, right? And I was that same person my whole career. When I went to college, I never forget being a freshman at Florida State.
Right.
And the first time we did a drill, right? Now, I'm a freshman. Cheryl, I'm 145 pounds, soaking wet.
Soaking wet.
Right? And when we did our first thing, I went straight to the front of the line.
Wow.
And I wish you could have heard the seniors. Freshman, where you going, freshman?
Yeah, where are you going?
But that's all I knew.
Right.
I'm going to be the first. I'm going to set the example. I'm going to set the pace. I'm going to do all this because Coach Wilder taught me that when I was
how to do that. Right. Yes.
And you know what kind of team we had year in and year out in Atlantic. We played for state championship games almost every year.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And so I was the leader of that. And so he taught me leadership.
That's great.
He taught me how to take the game serious.
See, and I wish we could take that moment I wish we could have taken that moment to give all those guys all their flowers when they were able to
appreciate them.
Yes.
To appreciate it.
Because I thought Zach was gonna live forever, and that was my stepper right there. Even though we had strong parents. Now, don't nobody misunderstand what we're saying.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we had strong parents, and those were the parents away from the parents.
Right.
Yes.
So whatever advice that they gave us on the field, off the field, our parents told us that as well. But I always wanted, and I don't know why I never did it, but I always wanted to give all of these coaches, all these women, these men, those flowers while they were, can they appreciate them? Because, I pick up the phone in a minute.
Right.
And say, Zach, listen, life is not giving me some oranges. It's some rotten grapefruit, And he would, missing the bad days now, our parents are away from parents. That's right.
Yeah.
So he would tell me what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing. I would call him about that sour grapefruit, but then I'm gonna go to my daddy, which both of us are PK children, and I would go to my dad and say, "Real, you know what's what?" I was looking for that confirmation. To be honest.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I was looking for that, and okay, so I can't read
She says, "Thank you for being great role models. It was an honor for me to represent us as Mrs. Atlantic 1979. Crowned by your sister, Linda, Charlene Bryan, in 1978.
Oh,
right.
wow. That's it.
Yes.
So we had those people in our lives. And I know we're supposed to be talking basketball. We don't win. I mean, football. We don't win into all.
But here's the key. Here's the key. And I'm glad we're going this way. And the reason being is because it takes all that. And so before we get on the show, we were talking about it takes a village.
Yes.
All right. It takes a village. Nobody come to Mount Rushmore or become successful without the help of many people.
That's right.
And we don't have those villages like we used to.
Not like we used to.
What's so funny, Bobby, is because Ben and I were talking, and he said, "Hey, you know what's what?" I said, "What?" "You the big mama." I said, "Oh Lord."
Then Bobby, she gonna come back and tell me, and you a big mama too. No, wait.
So I said that to say what we were received as children growing up from the village that we came from. We know how to give back to these kids today. Now, some of us, I ain't gonna say all of us, but some of us, we need to rebirth the village.
We do, Lisa. We do.
Some of us have to go into a little training because it's not what you say to the kids. It's how
you say it, how you approach them. Before you even get anything out your mouth, it's how you approach them, how they perceive you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. My dad's a preacher, and so all my life, and so there was this circle around me, right, a protection. And so I couldn't do everything that every other kid could do,
right? But
I can go play football. And I learned how to manipulate my daddy. Linda, this is no joke. My daddy loved to watch me play football.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just all I had to say. If he said, "Bobby, go cut the yard," Bobby, go do that. I said, "Daddy, Larry Coffin them playing football around the corner." He said, "All right, boy, go on." Go on, boy. And it might not be a football game.
Right, but you got out of what you needed. And then it was the same way with me and Reb. Okay, so just like he said, my father was a minister as well. So I learned how to get him too, Bobby. Because my daddy thought he could sing better than anybody out there, right? So I would say, Reb, come on, let's sing a song together. You be Nat King Cole, I'm Natalie Cole. Where we going? So come on, Daddy, let's do it. And I got out a lot of things. So I understand how we did what we did.
He was a very good singer, though. He was a very good singer.
He was a very good singer.
Yeah, I had to get him. And then the same thing, Bobby, is, Dad, I'm going to play ball. Okay, where you going? I'm gonna be out there. But when we went to Pompey Park, it was just like going to Yankee Stadium, Miami Stadium. It was on. I have never seen a community softball team. Zach was my head coach,
right,
and Red Odom was the other head coach. Well, let everybody know Zach was my godfather, so I was going with him.
You're going with him.
And he taught me how to play, I think, since I was in 5th grade.
Right.
So we've been throwing ball for a long time. And it was the same thing as you. You get hurt. My uncles was hitting me, knocking the breath out of me, and I want to cry. And then they give me an uppercut. Shut up. I'm like, okay. All right. So the toughness came. And then when Red Odom and Zach team played against each other. It was on and popping. It was on and popping, Bobby. Everybody in the city from everywhere was right there to see us play. And the game was like whoever won, the scores was 1-2.
Right,
it wasn't like how we were shooting at everybody. Right.
But those were well played games.
Well played, and I'm so excited. Okay, y'all, I'm just excited.
Well, let me say this. Let me get back to it because I want to say something. You know, Bump Mitchell was my first coach, right? And he really made me believe
in yourself,
right? You know, because it was new to me what it was really like to be on a team, right? All I want to do is be an
organized team. Yeah.
I just want to be a star, right?
Right.
And so what we all found out, you know, I was the fastest kid on the team. It was about 4 guys on that team. That you give any one of us the ball and you hit that bell. They out, right?
They're gone.
It was myself. It was Van Williams.
Van was a beast, man.
Van was a beast. It was Bernard Parker.
Yes.
It was P. Nanny, Ernest Williams.
Oh, yeah. P. Nanny.
Let me tell you something. You get a ball to any one of us.
That's right. That's it. That is it.
So, but he taught me a lot. And he taught me, now this is what Bump truly taught me. And I'm talking about I'm 10 years old, right? Bump taught me that the game of football was not an individual game.
Right.
It's not an individual game. And so I'm learning this at 10 because all I knew was I'm the fastest on the team. I have scored more touchdowns than anybody on the team. So just give me the ball, everything will be all right.
You know, one of the callers
she says, how do you contribute your discipline to plan your entire career with the Falcons? Most players these days do not stay grounded with the same team.
I had that same question.
What do you contribute that to?
Well, real simple. You know, in the day that I played, there was no free agency. So even when my contract expired, if the Falcons wanted my services, I was not free to go talk to another team. So that had a lot to do with me staying. Let's be honest, because if I had free agency, what would eventually happen was somebody that offered me more money than the Falcons.
And you would go, yes.
And then when you're a professional ball player, just to let you guys know, I know when you have a team, you don't want to see your favorite players leave. But at the end of the day, these guys are trying to take care of their families, right?
Right.
And in the game of football, the average career is still 3.5 years. You know, Tom Brady he's a different dude. That don't happen.
Right.
And so 3.5 years is an NFL career. So you really got to do the best you can for your family financially. But to answer that question, you know, I wasn't allowed to go any place else unless the Falcons didn't want my service.
Okay, so let me ask you another question too, because me as a mother, a parent, a young boy growing up to one day, what I'm thinking would make the NFL. What's the percentage of college players making it to the NFL?
Well, I think there's about 65,000 college players each year, about 65,000. There are only about 1,600 jobs in the National Football League.
A matter of fact, it's 1696. Let me go ahead. Okay.
Well, let's say 1,700.
Right.
So you got over 65,000 kids, you know, and then everybody's not going to get drafted. Everybody's not going to get an opportunity to play, right? So if you don't get drafted or you don't get a chance to walk on, well, become an undrafted free agent and get a tryout, well, that's over, right? And then when you get to camp, you know, here's the thing about camp for young kids. If there's some kids listening to this show, here's the thing about training camp in the NFL. When you get to camp, the first thing you really got to learn, because it's not about, you can't play full speed until you understand what the playbook is.
Yes.
All right. And so the playbook can be, well, my playbook, I don't have it in here, but a playbook can be that thick.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you just imagine you're a rookie, you're in camp. You got the veterans here who know the playbook.
Right.
You gotta learn this playbook really before you can play.
Mm.
Because if you don't know what to do, you can't play full speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you gotta get this knowledge down of what to do, and you have a short time to do it.
Mm.
So it's a serious thing. And so when you come to training camp, you got to go to work, not just physically, but you got to go to work mentally.
Let me ask this question as well, Bobby. Mm-hmm. My son and is in the first round picked. Is this college getting ready? The NFL getting ready to pick up somebody? I don't know. I'm praying it's my child, but he do make the first round. Okay, but he's picked number 25.
Okay.
Yeah, explain. You know what I'm talking about. So explain that to a mother how now he in the first round and they pick him to 20. Explain how that works.
Okay, so you know the way the draft is set up. The worst team gets to pick first.
Okay.
So whoever is the worst team, let's say that happens to be Detroit Lions, right?
Okay. Right.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
They're doing pretty good this year.
They're doing pretty good right now.
So whoever's the last place team, they get a chance to pick the very first player.
Right.
All right. And so it goes in that order. So as you get to the end of the first round, those are your better teams from the previous season.
Okay.
So me being picked the 25th pick, the Falcons was 12-4 the year before I came here.
Okay.
Right. And so that put them at the end of the first round. Well, that year, the class of 81 is the best draft of all time. A lot of people argue that. They say the class of 83. But in my class, Lawrence Taylor was the second player selected. Ronnie Lott, Kenny Easley. I mean, I can just go on and on and on. You know, Dennis Smith, Mike Singletary, Chris Collinsworth. I mean, I go Dexter Manley.
It's a long list.
So a lot of great players, and then it depends on what the team need is.
Right. Okay.
So just so happened when I came along in the draft. Matter of fact, the Dallas Cowboys called me first. And Linda, I grew up a Cowboy fan. Right. And I couldn't believe it when I couldn't believe they called me.
Right.
And they told me, if you're available, we're going to take you. I threw my hands up.
Right? I'm ready.
Shut up.
And then about 5 minutes later, I get the call the Falcons. Me, and they said, we're going to take you. The Falcons had to pick just before the Cowboys. Right. So I ended up coming to Atlanta.
Okay.
But I was pleased with that because, like I said, they were 12-4 the year before. I didn't know it was going to all go to South.
So, but let me ask you this right here, because Bobby, you're leaving from high school quarterback, NFL cornerback. How did that switch? How did that transition come through?
Well, remember, I graduated high school in 1977, right? The beauty for me was this, that I was a great athlete, and so I didn't just play quarterback. I played safety as well on defense. All right. And I was the punter at Atlantic. I was deep on the kickoff return at Atlantic. I was the punt returner. I did everything.
Right.
So nobody recruited me because, you know, I had a long skin color.
Right.
Now, I did get opportunities at HBCUs, but I had a conversation with a guy from Delray by the name of Barry Hill. And Barry Hill was an NFL player that played at Carver High and grew up in our neighborhood.
That's right. Yes.
And so I used to work out with Barry. Listen. Let me say this too while I'm right here. I was so fortunate.
Yes.
I was a 10th grader and I was working out at Carver with Randy Strong, with Barry Hill, with Charles Cornelius, NFL guys. And I was just a 10th grader in high school.
Right.
And I'm working out in the summer every day with these guys.
Yep.
I was privileged.
Yes, you were.
and those guys who knocked you down, stepped on you and say, get up.
Right.
Get
and
up,
so, but then they started speaking to my life. So Barry pulled me aside one day.
Mm-hmm.
He said, do you know what you're going to do for college? And this is what I told him. I said, yeah, everybody recruit me, but I'm waiting on Bethune-Cookman to call me because, I want to go there to play quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He shook his head like this. Linda, he did like this. He did one of those on me. He said, boy, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have no future in that position. He said, but you had 7 interceptions and you ran 6 back for touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He said, everybody's recruiting you to do that in Division I football. He said, Bobby, if you want to make it, you got to play on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there like this, Linda.
Wow.
That's when I started to think, well, I need to change my position. Because, like I said, in high school, I was playing on the defensive side.
Right.
I didn't take it that serious.
Right.
Yeah, I was over there. I was Chuck Cunningham and Muttley and
all those.
That was their thing. Steve Kanies, man. Y'all do that. I do the cleanup work on defense. Let them throw the ball. I'm gonna pick it off. I'm gonna go right.
Right.
And that's what happened.
Wow.
That's what happened.
The thing that I had a question as well. My concern is I fell out with a lot of teams because I didn't see enough of these as quarterbacks. And I know they were out there. Nowadays, I look and go, they there. But Charlie Ward, Heisman Trophy winner, Florida State. But did not play pro football. He played basketball.
Not one snap.
No. What happened? Tell me. I didn't understand that.
Wrong time.
Okay. Wrong time.
Same time. And so Charlie was just like myself. He was a dual sport guy, even in college. Mm-hmm. So he played basketball at FSU.
Right.
Before he became the starter in football, Linda, he was our star point guard. He played with Rodney Dobar at Florida State.
Right.
And Sam Cassell, they had a good team.
Right.
They were one of the best teams in the country at Florida State at that time.
Yep.
With Bobby Sura. I mean, they were pretty good. And Charlie was the point guard on that team. And so, when he wasn't getting the right feel, he said, well, I'm just going to go play basketball. It was a first pick in basketball.
And he did what he did. How long did he stay there? He was with
He played with the Knicks.
New York Knicks. Okay, thank you.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you this, right? We've had a lot of great football players come out of Florida State.
Right.
For me,
yes,
Charlie Ward is the GOAT.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT. Hands down.
It's so unfortunate that my complexion made a difference.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You wouldn't allow me to lead your people, but you wanted me to do some other things. So
well, you think about the league. The league is what, 75% African American?
Yeah.
We can't even get no coaches.
What you say?
Listen, the league is a black league.
Right.
We can say it and say it loud and be black and proud. Black league. And we can't even be represented, in the management,
Yeah.
So, but our future will be better. We know that. And so I'm amazed, Linda. I remember, and I was happy, but when I saw Michael Vick come to Atlanta, when I see all these guys playing now, Patrick Mahomes, and I see the guy up in Baltimore, I see him play. And I remember when Michael Vick was in Atlanta, everybody would say, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
For real.
One of our viewers wanted to know, is being a preacher's kid, this question was addressed for you and Linda, did they keep you grounded? What did that effect have on you in coming up?
Oh, you tell yours, Bobby, because
well, Linda, we both had a little wild streak, right?
we did.
Let's just call it. Let's just call it what it is, right?
Call it, Bobby.
We were children.
Yes.
Being formed and shaped.
See, that's it. That's it.
The Bible says to train up a child. That word training, you know what it means to me?
What, man?
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
When I was training to play ball, it was not easy.
Right.
The time spent in the weight room, the time spent running, the time doing those things that you don't want to do to make you what you want to become. Get to do that. So training. So
you're right.
I'm glad my daddy had a circle around me, because had he not had that circle around me, it's no telling what I would have got my little self into.
Yeah,
right. I was no different than the other kid. That's
absolutely.
What I understand. I was no different than Peter Tom.
Oh, you're right. What'd you say, Peter Tom?
Let me go back. I was a little different than Peter Tom.
Right.
Lisa says we have 3 black coaches in Houston right now. Lovett Smith, NFL, Dusty Baker, MLB, Steven Silas, NBA.
Yes.
Equal Black Men's Month.
So
listen,
the training, you're absolutely correct. And it's so crazy when you stop and think about what you just said, because those people saw greater things in us than we saw in ourselves. And I wanted to get into a whole lot of trouble, Bobby, and Peter was one of those that Bobby, Peter was at Mary Reese's service.
Okay.
And Peter told
hello, Regina.
He told the congregation, he says 2 women in Delray Beach, Florida. He said, when I wanted to get in the fight, I went and knocked on Mary Reese's door and Linda Bryant.
That boy a mess, man.
I said, so did you have to say that right then?
Yeah, right.
People don't know that about me. I'm a good girl. He's like, no, I just want them to know. When I want to fight, that's Mary Vesey and Linda Bryant. I said, oh my God. But the training that we received, and I tell my people all the time, I was a bad, good girl, bad girl. I knew the respect. Let me just say
absolutely.
I knew how to respect my elders. I knew how to respect those around me.
Absolutely.
Now, when the door closed, that was a whole nother story.
A whole nother story, right?
Whole nother story. But those are just the training that we received. And I'm so glad that we did. I was looking at your stat, and I've already told you how proud I am of you. To know out of 169 games, you made 27 interceptions.
Yep.
And 3 touchdowns. So I was hollering.
Well, that those stats are truly wrong, right?
Tell me about it.
Well, I had 27 interceptions. That's true.
Okay.
But I had about 6 touchdowns.
Shut up.
Okay.
I don't know where that comes from.
Where did 3 come from? But let's get what you do, though.
I don't know where that comes from.
Put the other 3 up there.
Hey, Linda, I'll never forget. When I was a kid, I scored. Playing offense, you score touchdowns, right? So when you trade that in to play defense, you have to really get those things that's going to give you that same kind of feeling, right?
Right.
And so I went from being a quarterback in high school to going to Florida State. Returning punts. I mean, I was a great punt returner, and I went to Florida State, and they had me blocking punts. So I was a white collar football player in high school, where in practice I had the red jersey, which meant you can't hit the quarterback. We don't hit our quarterbacks in practice, right?
Right.
And so I had that jersey on in high school all those years, right? And then when I get to Florida State, my coach met me one day. And because when I was looking at it, when I went in as a true freshman, this is no joke. I was very confident, right? And so I saw the 2 guys. They had 2 seniors returning punts. They were fast, but they couldn't run the rock like me, right? And so I knew I was going to get the job. I was thoroughly convinced that I was going to be the punt returner as a freshman at Florida State. Well, I'm going over. I've been returning punts all week the first week. And so the end of the first week, I go over to start shagging punts. My coach met me halfway. I saw him walking toward me. I didn't know he was walking at me. He said, Bobby, he said, I'm going to tell you right now, ain't no doggone freshman going to return no punts for me. He said, you can take your little blankety blank beep, beep, beep. And then he pointed to the other side of the field, right?
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
Go down there and learn how to block kicks. I had a moment. I had a moment. So
Right.
I look down there.
Mm-hmm.
I see guys running. They diving in the air, face first on the ground. Bam!
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I was a quarterback a few months ago.
Yeah.
Now I got to go down here and dive and hit my face first on the ground. Melinda, just like I was taught to do. I went down there and I took it up. That was 1977.
Wow.
What we're in 2022 right now?
2022.
I am still the all-time leading kick blocker in Florida State history.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Because I took it up and I learned. Red Odom taught me something, and I learned to do what my coaches told me to do.
Wow. Wow.
See, Red Odom, see, you talking about Zach and Red. Let me tell you what Red did for me. When I was in the 8th grade, I sat the bench for the first time, and it didn't feel good, Linda. I was mad every night. I went to practice. I was mad every night. And all I knew to do was to go and prove to these coaches I'm supposed to be playing.
Right.
And so no matter what I did, I scored 1 or 2, 3 times in a game, right? And they didn't see me. And so I'm sitting the bench the next week, don't get no burn in the game. And I'm mad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Red Odom said to me, Bobby, I need you on defense. I said, Coach, I don't do that. I said, bruh, I don't do that. Give me the ball. I was mad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just leave me over there. The next night, Bobby, I need you over here. Coach, I don't do that. So I guess, after the weeks I went by, I say, these coaches don't like me. That's the first thing we think, right? We don't have
Right.
They don't like me. I said, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to practice. I'm going to play defense tonight. I'm going to hurt me some of them jokers. So I'm going to give me a chance to play. Because that bench was killing me. Right? Oh, my gosh. That bench was not for me. I'm just telling you right now. But here's what happened. I learned how to tackle. Because I didn't know how to tackle. I knew how to run the football. I knew how to throw. I knew how to catch. I took to the best. But I didn't know how to tackle. So that year was a pivotal moment in my life. That was when I had that paradigm shift. So let's go back. So after that year, I never played except for cleanup duty, but Red taught me how to tackle. And so the next year I come back on that team, I'm the starting quarterback. We win the whole thing, but I'm back on offense. I'm happy, right? Then in my ninth grade year, I go out for what I thought I was going out for junior varsity at the high school. But I didn't know varsity and junior varsity practice together in the spring. And I'm glad I didn't know because I'd probably been too scared to go. Because my freshman year, you remember they went to the state championship game. And they had all the players, Jimmy St. Field. They had all of them out there, right? Luther Mosley and Chuck Jones and David Field came out. And so all those guys were on the team. And I'm like, man. But I go out there because I learned how to tackle. The first time I was on defense, I hit Mutt Lee. Now, you know how big I hit Mutt Lee in his kneecap.
Wow.
And the ball came out. And next thing you know, I'm starting as a 10th grader on defense for Atlanta.
You had to if you hit my lead like that. He run you over the minute.
I flipped Mutt Lee on his head. The ball go out like that, right? And so because Red Odom. Now, I didn't know at the time. I'm just playing ball at the time, right?
Right.
So I'm the backup quarterback, but I'm starting on defense. Well, the next 2 years, my junior and senior year, I'm the starting quarterback, but I'm also playing defense. All right, my last 2 years. But when it came to going to college, everybody recruited me to play defense. Think about that.
Mm.
I never wanted to play defense, but everybody in the country recruited me. I could have went anywhere, Linda, to play defense.
Wow. Let me ask this question right here, Bobby. Let's compare salaries with then and now. Say the first or the third round.
Well, let me say this,
Bobby. Is there a difference? What is there a major difference? Let me just say that. Is there a major difference in the salary?
Let me say this. I was a first round pick, right?
Uh-huh.
I got a signing bonus of $175,000.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I'm telling y'all this because this information is available. They gave me $175,000. That's my signing bonus.
Uh-huh.
And I made $85,000 my first year. I was a first round draft choice. And that was 1981.
Right.
My second son, Bryce, was drafted in 2014 in the 7th round.
Uh-huh.
Almost didn't get drafted.
Don't say it. Don't say it, Daddy. What?
He made $475,000 as a 7th round draft pick.
Wow.
Now, I played long enough on the back end, I started to make that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I made $500,000 my last 2 seasons each year. So I made between those 2 seasons and base salary, I made $1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
My son made that, almost didn't get drafted in the 7th round.
Wow. Right. We have come to the close of our night. And we don't want it. Yeah, we don't want it to end. But wow, we don't have fun.
I had fun, and
we had fun too. We enjoyed you so much,
so much. I wish and I pray that something that you said touches some kids, some parent that can help their child that is going in or would like to go into the NFL because the real chances are what?
Slim to none.
Yeah. So
let me say one thing real quick. Let me say this real quick. Parents, if I can say one thing to you, support your kids.
Right.
Don't come against the coach in front of your kids. Talk about the coaches or anything like that negative.
Right.
Just go and support your kid. Right. Don't let your kid hear you talking about their coaches. Right. He's gonna listen to the coach. I don't care what you say. He's got to listen to the coach.
Right.
Just support your kid. That's what my parents did. And so it worked out for me.
Right. And my daddy was a good supporter. As well, we had those parents though, Bobby. We had those parents
back then,
and we're gonna have to rebirth that village. I don't know how we do it, but we're gonna have to keep the circle going to where we could make some things happen for our children and our children's children.
Absolutely.
So again, it was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Honor. I really have had a really good time. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what Black men do. This is it. This is when we started November. Who we had last week? When is November? What's this?
This November?
Yeah, this the first one.
The guy that makes the clothes.
Oh yeah. We had Robert, another Robert.
Couture,
yeah. So we just want to represent and showcase our Black men and let them know how much we do care and honor you regardless what anybody else say. There's nothing like a Black man.
And Bernita says, awesome program. Our children are our right now, and we must love them and pray for them continuously. And you are so right about that.
Yes.
That's Bernita.
So, and you know that's Mary V's niece, right?
Listen, ain't Bernita like this, right? We were in high school together. We just a couple years behind. She just
right.
So I'm gonna call you so I can get some more of them backstories about Linda.
I'm
going to give me some more of those backstories.
Happy birthday,
I'm going to give it to you too.
Yes, I've been knowing her for about 37 years, but I know some more stories that I don't know.
I'm such a lady, Bobby. I'm such a lady.
Bobby, I don't know.
That's how we going to end this tonight. We ain't singing, we ain't doing nothing. I'm going to say that Linda Scott is such a lady now.
And Annette Reddick said, happy birthday, Linda.
Happy birthday.
Hey, Bobby, I'll officially be a senior citizen. So
oh my gosh.
Y'all go ahead.
Go
See,
ahead,
now,
girl.
see these
Hey,
people
girl.
over here laughing and carrying on, Bobby.
Hey, the blessing is we know a lot of people who didn't make it this far.
That's
That's
right.
right, that's
That's
right.
right.
It
That's
is a
right.
blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
And you wear it well.
thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And you do the same. So listen, everybody, thank you for joining us again, Mr. Bobby Butler. How could they reach you before we leave? And say good night to us.
Look for me on Facebook on Mondays and Wednesdays. I have a podcast myself called 100 Yards of Football. I do a legend segment, and I can have anybody on my show, any NFL, NBA, National Baseball League player. I have them all on. So had Tim McCarroll on last week. Got Mr. Harvey Clayton, Pittsburgh Steelers, Florida State coming on with me this coming Monday. So 100 Yards of Football.
All right. So y'all heard him. You know where to find him at. You want a good man. You know what a good man look like. The assistant pastor right there who grew up in Delray Beach, Florida. We love you, man. See you really soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Good night.